It says the
Hi, everyone. I think we're live. It says we're live. If you guys can see us, say hi in the comments. I know it's different because we usually use Crowdcast, and this is StreamYard, as you can tell by the logo on the corner of Courtney's face, which shows up. I think there's a delay on the comments, possibly.
That would make sense since there's normally like a delay from like one place to the other with that. But I have both the things up. So it says that there's 8 people watching. Miss Richards Reads is here. Hello. There we go. We have some people coming over.
Can you see it at the bottom? Oh, there we go. All right.
Yay!
And Harmony's here. Do you guys like this? I love this new feature. Lisa's here.
Lily.
Ryan's here.
Hey, Ryan.
I think we can leave. Do you want to leave the screen this way? It looks like comments show up just fine.
No, I like it. I like it.
Hey, Helen. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Miss Richard Reads. Yeah, so now we can see like exactly however your post is set up for YouTube. That's the name that shows up.
Yeah.
Cool. We are surprised, or I think I speak for Courtney and I, that it is already the end of the month. It's weird because time goes by really slow sometimes, and then sometimes it goes by really fast.
Oh yeah, super fast. Like I'm like, Aaron was talking to me. He goes, so how much longer are you guys going to be doing your monthly things? He goes, so do you have a book picked out for June? And I was like, yeah, babe, that's tonight. We talk about like the book that we picked for tonight. And I was like, we're not having a live stream in July. And he goes, wait, why? I was like, well, we have a little person being born. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like he forgot like that it's like the last Wednesday of the month. And I'm like, we're having him on July 31st. I was like, it'd be kind of weird to have a live stream 2 days before I have him.
It's funny. Lisa, love it. This month definitely flew by. Yeah, it definitely did. Although, are things open? Things are starting to open here. So we're actually going out to dinner after this tonight, which I'm very excited about. So yeah.
Things are more or less open here in Broken Arrow and in the Tulsa area. Like they're like blocking off seats. So like only every other table is available at some restaurants and different things like that. My doctor said that I'm okay to go out for the month of June, but for the month of July, I need to shelter in place again before he's born. Because like the problems of if I get it and he doesn't, like if it's not long enough for him to have gained immunities of it for it, we would have had to been separated after he was born.
Awful.
Yes. So he was like, he goes, just make sure that you shelter in place all of July. I was like, okay, cool. You know, I turned 30 in July. I'm just gonna, just shelter in place the whole entire month.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Birthday by yourself.
See, I mean, I'm really bad at like celebrating things in general, so that works too.
Oh, all right. So today we are talking about the Emmie Lynn book, The Chocolate Chip Mystery, and this is The Claws of Justice. So, oh, whoops. Harmony, we're still locked down where I'm in Mexico. Ashley, things are beginning to open up here in Virginia. No indoor restaurants, only outdoor. Yeah, I've seen some people do outdoor only. So in San Diego, it's 6 feet, whether it's indoor or outdoor. But a lot of places aren't even opening up. Ms. Richards, things are opening up here in Northwest Arkansas too. Stacy, things are opening in Kansas. We're still closed down here in Illinois. Instead of Co's Week, like last year, can you do Co's Month? Co's Month? I don't know that we have the stamina for that.
That could be fun. Sort of like getting cozy in my nursery with cozies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd probably be doing a lot of reading in July.
Yeah. No, I could totally do that.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to share my screen really quick, only because Courtney and I were talking about this before. It's a little confusing how this is part of like the bigger mystery. Let me see if I can share. Sharing screen. So
yeah, because I don't know, while she's trying to share her screen, I don't know if you guys remember in the book that we talked about, Cause of Justice, it had mentioned that the main character had solved a mystery before, and that's how she got her dog in the book. And I don't know if that was confusing to you. It was confusing to me a little bit, because I was like, wait, hold on. I had to actually go back and make sure that this was book 1 in the series, because I thought that I had missed a whole entire murder mystery. So,
So I did a little search on Emmie Lynn, who is the author for the book that we're talking about today. And so she has 2 series inside of the larger series, which is called Blueberry Bay. So one of the series is that Little Dog Diner series that she keeps referencing in the book, and the other book referenced. And then this second series is the one that we started, which is the Mint Chocolate Chip Mysteries. Now, when you go into any of these, you'll see it's written by 2 different authors. So a lot of people do this where they have they invite other authors to write within their world. So if you go into the Little Dog Diner, you can see all of the different books for that series. But then you'll notice the second author is Blueberry Bay, which isn't a real person. It just means that all of the books within there, the other series, so you'll see that Kitty Confidential one that we read before. So those are part of the Molly Fitz series. And then there's the other series, S.E. Babin. So this is a book 1, Shelf Indulgence. And this one also is written by S.E. Babin plus Blueberry Bay. So then you know it's part of that world. So this is book 1. So she has a whole series within there. I believe this is the only book that's out right now. But she has other books planned too. Like if you go to the website for Molly Fitz, I believe it will tell you all of the books that are inside are coming out for that series, I think. Molly Fitz. Mysteries for Pet Lovers. This is new, or maybe not. No, let's look at books. Pet Whisperer PI. Yeah, so new series starting soon. So it's another one. Oh, no, I guess she just has her Molly Fitz books. She doesn't have the ones in the bigger world. So.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Lisa showed that. And it made a little bit more sense to me, like why there were some things that were referenced that I didn't understand, because there are some authors like London Lovett. In one of her, she has two series that are like in the same world. One's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. One's the Port Danby series, and then the other one's the Firefly Junction series. Her 2 characters met in one of the Firefly Junction books. But if you only knew her as the writer of Firefly Junction, you would have been confused because you didn't know Pink from the Port Danby series.
Right.
So I think it's sort of like that, except it's even more, I don't necessarily want to say convoluted, but more like in depth, because it's actual different authors writing about a story that is within a world. So it's not the same author writing about the different characters.
Right. Yeah. So same thing. I found another series, The Squeaky Clean Skeleton. So Blueberry Bay, R.A. Muth. So yeah. Awesome. So that's all. How do I stop? There we go. We are back to normal. All right. So if you didn't, who read the book? I guess. Yes, no. We're going to summarize it for you.
Thumbs up if you read the book, tell us what your star rating is, because we don't have the little poll for like we do for Crowdcast, which I think that's okay not to have the poll, because we've done the stars before in the comments. That works just as well.
Yeah. So when you guys are entering that, we'll sum up the book.
Yeah.
So I summed up the first half. I took some notes because you know me, every time there's a new name, I write it down. So this is in Pineville, which is a city within the bigger Blueberry Bay. It's like, I don't know if you want to think of Blueberry Bay as just an area or a county or whatever. It's in Maine. So at the beginning of the book, Sunny Shaw buys Nine Pine Nursery. And for some reason, I skimmed over it really quick. I thought it was a nursing home. It's not a nursing home. It's a nursery with plants and flowers and everything else. So her neighbor, Tilly, is she's like a granny. She calls her a granny with a gun or something. So she's like her funny sidekick character. And she brings Jasper, which is her 150-pound Newfoundland mix. She also has Princess Muffin at home, which is a gray tabby. And she finds Stash, which is a new kitten. And then
there's two kittens, right?
Yeah. I was kind of confused because there was also a litter of kittens.
Yes, four kittens with a mama kitten.
Yes.
Mama at the nursery.
That I think Hitch found. So yeah. So there's a lot of kittens.
Actually bought the nursery for Sunny.
Right. Yes. So she bought it. It was a little confusing in the beginning because she bought it, but she was confused how she bought it. So I guess she was just stunned. And then her ex-boyfriend Hitch shows up, has the money to help fund it. And then they decide they're going to make it Shakes and Cakes shop in the front, which I guess was part of her dream. And then also Kitty Castle, which is a cat shelter in the back.
Yes, with like a planter place too for his orchids.
Yes. Yep. And then Officer Walker, it was a little confusing. Officer Walker starts the investigation, but then the state detective Marsh takes over the investigation. So I don't know who really was in charge of the investigation. She kind of talks to both in between. But the backstory is Hitch used to be a security guard for the murder victim, which just is someone that was sitting next to Sunny during the auction of purchasing the nursery. And she outbid him. But he's supposedly rich, but maybe not that rich. He owns orchids and they're valuable. And then he also owns like a $200,000 bonsai tree. And the bonsai tree, he tried to do an insurance scam where he was going to have his friend Conrad steal it and then put in a claim so he could get the money, but I guess still keep the tree because he really liked the bonsai tree. And then he shot Hitch for some reason when his friend came to steal the bonsai tree. So this tree never gets stolen. And then Maxine owns a nursery also in Pineville, and she's also the president of the Orchid Association. And she happens to be holding on to the orchids and the bonsai because she has a nursery to, I guess, provide the right atmosphere for them. But then Conrad steals the bonsai to take it away, and then he's going to give the bonsai to the victim's wife, who has Alzheimer's, who is in a nursing home, and her granddaughter Gina somehow just happens to also work for Maxine, taking care of the plants, and so that's kind of the middle. I think those are all the people you really need to know, right?
Yes. So at first you don't know that Gina is the actual granddaughter of the deceased's wife. And you find out that he was a horrible person. And I mean, not only for shooting Hitch, but because he sort of took this old woman out of her family and sort of, gaslighted her and her family and made it to where they weren't in contact with each other and everything like that. And then this is where it gets confusing because there's a lot of back and forth of, did Conrad just leave it accidentally in Gina's car, the bonsai? And then Gina goes all the way over to Sunny's house and drops off the bonsai and says, I don't want anything to do with it. And then they try to disguise it. Tilly tries to disguise it with pink flamingos. And then Sunny realizes that the murder victim was married, so she goes to the nursing home, and then they find out that the wife was taken from the nursing home by a family member, and then they find out they go back to their house, and then they find the bonsai is missing, and they go all the way back over to Gina's house, and they find that Gina has stolen the bonsai back. And then the grandmother is sitting in her kitchen, and Gina's like, well, yeah, no, this is my grandma, and I never got to see her, so I really wanted to take care of her. But then she goes back and forth on whether she wants to actually take care of her grandmother or not, which to me is like, personally, like it assaulted me personally, because my grandmother is my favorite person in the whole entire world. And so like her like sort of like, oh, I don't really want to take care of her, somebody else can have her kind of thing. And then you find out Conrad is actually the murder victim's son. And so they're actually sort of related. And then it seems like, is Conrad and Gina trying to just take the bonsai for their own money? Or is Conrad really the bad guy? And it just goes back and forth a lot, from being at Gina's house to being at Tilly's house to being at Sunny's house to being back at the nursery. Yes, back at the nursery, where they thought that Maxine was the killer, and then Maxine doesn't seem to be the killer. The killer in the end is Gina. She killed the old man for taking, yes, basically, well, like her step grandfather, because they weren't actually
married.
Yeah. So she kills him and then tries to cover it up. And then Maxine turns out to be a nice person and pays for the grandmother to have her apartment and her bonsai, and like a happy ending to the end of her, till the end of her days, kind of thing.
Yep. All right, so let's go through. I'll just pop them on the screen. 1 star from Miss Richards, 2 from Stacy, 1 from Lisa, 2.5 from Harmony, 3.5 from Ryan, 2 from Stacy, 3 from Helen. It felt really messed to me. I wasn't a fan, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think it had an interesting murder in the beginning, and we got a lot of suspects, and it did throw me off where I was like, maybe that could be this murderer, maybe this could be the murderer. But sometimes it was just confusing to a couple things. Like, we just jumped around a lot, and then sometimes we would go to different people's houses for no reason. Like, hey, let's just go back to your house and talk, or let's go or different locations. So that was a little distracting, only because I thought maybe the locations had some significance, but they were just, I guess, places to go and sit and talk. I don't know. Did you
like it didn't like one of the reasons why I love cozies is that the town feels like a character itself, in a way, like the way they describe it and the way that it makes it feel like a cozy community all together. And I couldn't for the life of me really picture what the town looked like. Like, I had in my head these 2 little houses on the corner that were Tilly and Sunny's. And then I had like this one house of Gina's, the nursery, and then like the elderly home. Like, that was like all I really had in my head, and it didn't feel like a cozy. Again, like I kept waiting for, because it's called the mint chocolate chip series, like I kept waiting for like recipes, or like her to cook, or like maybe to get some information out of someone. She bakes some goods and has like a reason to go sleuth or something along those lines. And I don't know, I think I really felt like I missed out on something when I didn't because I didn't know it was part of a whole, like that this character was part of a whole other series. I didn't feel the in-depthness of the character the way that I might have had I known that she was from another series, and I could have sort of gotten a vibe about her, but it was sort of like I was supposed to automatically feel what she was feeling towards Hitchner for a reason.
Right.
And it just sort of felt a little off to me.
Yeah. Let's see. Harmony. It was kind of like a Scooby-Doo episode without the ghosts. Yeah, kind of running around. Also, side note, I'm dying to see the new Scooby-Doo cartoon. I haven't watched it yet.
I've seen the Scoob. You have to let me know what you think, and then we can discuss.
Excuse to eat donuts. Yeah, I did like the donuts.
Yeah, I really wanted a cinnamon donut. Not gonna lie.
It was too disjointed. there were a lot of elements missing for me, like the setting, the town, the opening for the murder, personalities, character. Yeah, maybe I think if it had just slowed down the pacing a couple times and just, like when we go back to the house, maybe she could have made something mint chocolate chippy. I don't know, cookie or a shake. Because they were talking about making shakes and Hitch was like, oh, I want to make sure I can taste stuff. So it sounded like she had really wanted to do that. And then if there was history of her doing that, we could have had like a nice scene where she's making it or something.
Yeah, or something like that. And I think that a lot of times indie authors feel like they can't write their stories as long as they need to be. Like I read a ton of indie authors, and they're normally between 45,000, 50,000 words. Like they don't normally go much over that. But it takes a really well thought out and meticulous writer to get a mystery done in between 40 and 45, 50,000 words. Right. A lot of times you need those longer red herrings and those longer details and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think cozies are perfect for like kind of meandering sometimes on things that maybe seem boring to others, but cozy readers are like, I love that we saw the color of the grass. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, no, exactly.
All right. Ryan, I didn't like this cozy. I really enjoyed her little dog diner series. Feels more like a standard cozy with the town of the character. I didn't feel like a main town to me. I kept picturing Florida. Yeah, I guess it was warm weather. There wasn't a lot of cold. It kind of felt like any town USA, not really descriptive. Yeah, the town feeling was kind of, we were saying that, kind of missing. Because we just were at houses and the little dog diner. So, yeah, I think that's kind of all I had. It was a little, I don't know, do a lot of cozies do that? It was a little surprising. I feel like I should have known in the beginning that Gina was the granddaughter, and I should have known, or someone should have known, or been able to connect the dots that Conrad was the son, right?
Yeah, but there were no hints at all. It was like one moment, these two are two totally separate characters. Conrad just works for the man, and she's just someone who works for Maxine, to, oh no, they're actually semi-related in a step way, and here's all this. Like the author could have sort of dropped in like Conrad actually like accidentally going like, well, dad, I mean, like this person, like exactly the dad, or she could have talked about, Maxine could have said, why did you scurry away when he entered the room? Like something along those lines that would have made me go, oh, okay. Yeah, maybe there's something there that, I didn't think was there. And it wouldn't necessarily have given it to me, but it would have put a little bit of doubt in my mind and made me want to read the book more than when they just sort of like jump in between, and then it's very confusing to me.
I think the intention was there with the animals too. So Lisa Ashby and I'm always like, tell me the animal situation of every book that you read. So I like that there was a dog. I like that she wanted to create a kitty rescue adoption place, and that she was taking in all these strays, and like she thought that they were cute. So I like that aspect. I just wish there was more of it, or maybe more explanation on where that other litter of kittens had come from.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like there were so many good things that I really think that the author had a really good thought process and a good sort of like plot in her mind. I just wish, I don't know how many beta readers she had or anything like that, like how many proofs she went through. Because I feel like if it had gone through a few more edits and drafts and someone other, everybody else's eyes looking at it, it could have come out really, really, really well.
Yeah. Oh, we have some more comments. Sophia, hi from London. I slept through my alarm. Oh my gosh, it's so late in London. Thank you for being here. Unless you mean London, Texas. Hi, Sophia. I didn't like the dynamic between Hitch and Sunny. It felt weird that Sunny just jumped on board without going into business. Yeah, like maybe if there's a little more buildup, like she went to get the bank loan, but she didn't have the money and he came in at the last minute, or something, a little bit more explanation on why it was okay to get back together with your ex.
And then it was very, very confusing because she was so mad at him at the beginning and she didn't want to hear him and yada, yada, yada. But then she like conveniently was like, oh no, we can do this business and everything's gonna be fine. It was very confusing.
Yeah. I felt sorry for Charlotte. I suspected Gina right away because she was painted as so innocent. Oh, I didn't suspect her right away.
No, I didn't either. I thought that she was just going to be like a fall-away character.
Yeah, I didn't think she had any significance. Harmony, where did Hitch get the money anyway? I forgot if that was mentioned. Oh, yeah, right. He's a security guard, which I don't really know a lot about security guards, but I don't know if they make a lot. And they didn't really, I guess if he had owned a security company, then it would have seemed like he's a baller and he came in with all this money. And honestly, I don't even know. Do you know how much does it cost to buy a nursery?
See, I don't know how much it costs to buy a nursery. Helen Boyle says that he got the money from being shot from insurance.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember reading that, but that's a good, like, I assume that is how he could have gotten the money. I also don't know, like, why did he leave town to become a security guard? Like,
yeah, they were clear.
They broke up.
Maybe that's something like they reveal in future.
Yeah, they might.
Helen, you got shot from me. Okay. Hi, Lisa. I think she's saying the other Lisa. Okay. Smiles. All right. Anyways, anything else we want to talk about in the book?
I feel like, I don't know. I was just kind of let down. I really wish that it would have, like, I had so much potential, and that cover was freaking adorable.
The cover was amazing.
The cover was so good, which I will say that, like, indie authors, for the most part, they nail their covers. Like,
oh yeah, they're always better.
Yeah, I always have, like, such high expectations, like, when I see an indie cover. Like, they just look so cute and adorable, and, like, they make me want to read it, and then I have high expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. Helen, I suspected her when she was pushing Charlotte on other people.
See, and I just thought that she was just a bad person.
Yeah, I was just confused. Harmony, I think the only explanation given for her hopping on board with his plan was his smile.
Yeah.
She did like his smile. Lisa, if it would have been nice if the shop they wanted to create, the Kitty Rescue Ice Cream Shop, had an intertwining part of the story. Yes. Yeah. Maybe it was hard, I think, because it was a nursery becoming a chocolate chip shake cake kitty place.
Well, they did mention at the beginning of the book how this used to be her family's business. So I don't.
But as a nursery or as a shake shop?
I don't remember. It wasn't. It was sort of like glazed over, and I just. It was very confusing.
Yeah. Richards, I agree, Lisa. The ideas for the shop didn't feel cohesive either. Harmony, I didn't hate it like last month's book. It just wasn't very compelling. I thought it was kind of cute, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it had the elements of like cuteness, like the cover was there. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. I love the idea for the shop.
The dog that was like the nurse for the kittens. Yeah. That was like, I loved that. I loved that.
The only animal part that I was mortified by was when the dog, Jasper, put the cat on Maxine's lap and it fell and she was like, haha, when Conrad caught it. I was like, what do you mean, haha? Like, I would never, ever, like, it's a little baby kitten, right?
Yeah, but that solidified my hatred for Maxine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Lisa, Mr. Yes, the whole shop was missing. Yep. Unfortunately, everything felt glazed over. So who wants, she did offer to give a signed copy of another one of her books. So who wants it? Let's start with that.
Yeah. And while people are messaging in for that, we do have a winner for June's book, and it was Candence Haven's A Case for the Winemaker. And she had actually sent me this book a couple of months ago for me to review, and I actually hadn't gotten into it yet. It got lost in all of the packages we've been getting for Alex. So I found out. So I actually have the physical copy of it. So super, super excited. This is the book for June.
So I also talked to the author. I have exciting news. So one, Candace approved for us to read the first 2 chapters this week. And so Courtney and I will have those up on Sunday, like normal. But more importantly, she agreed to give away 3 prizes. So the first 2 are signed copies of other books in the series. And the third prize is a $10 Amazon gift card. She's just all about cool. So I don't know if anyone, I shouldn't say I personally know Candace. I've met her at writing conferences because she used to write romance and be an editor. And so she's literally like the nicest person ever. Just super helpful and friendly. And I had like the worst author pitch in the world. And she was like, don't worry, here's my email. You can just message me and I will help you. So she's like super friendly. So I'm super excited to read her book next month.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you know, fingers crossed. It looks like the first person who said that they wanted it was Sophia Zarifi.
Yep, Sophia. So it will be a Sophia win. So I will let Emmie know. And Sophia, just message me with your address. Is my address. Is the new one. So I actually got rid of the other lattes. So the latte and the Lisa London. So it's just that one. Perfect. Read it. Okay, cool. Awesome, guys. Well, I know this was short, but it was a shorter book.
It was. So I'm excited to dive in, and the next live stream will be on my channel, and we'll send it out just like we normally do. But I do want to let you guys know that there will not be book club for at least the month of July and August.
Yeah. So June, it'll be Wednesday, June 24th. And then, but we'll still be in the Facebook group. So
yes, still be in the Facebook group. I'm still going to be reading a ton, like talking about cozies. I'm going to try and film some to get my channel still going while I'm on maternity leave and everything.
Yeah. And Lisa and I will definitely be talking about all the pets in the cozies that we're reading. So you can be rest assured, you will know whether or not there is a furry friend.
They really are the best.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, night, evening, next day. If you are Sophia, I think she's in London. And we'll see you in the Facebook group.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Have a great night. Bye.